Okay, we were talking about the English levels. Let's just share it. And there is something I checked, guys, as I told you previously, that A1 is a beginner level, A2 is the elementary level. The beginning of a pre-intermediate, the B1 is a pre-intermediate level, and the end of it, let's say the outcome of it is supposed to be the intermediate level. When you finish it, you'll be finishing 2 levels at the same time, and you'll have finished 2 levels at the same time. B2 is the upper intermediate level, C1 is the advanced level, and finally C2, as we said, is the proficiency. We didn't talk about proficiency because we don't expect students in the proficiency level. But as we said, guys, those 2 levels are considered to be B1. For sure it is, with different skills and different questions. One of my colleagues told me that level 1 is not beginner, and he said that A1 is not beginner, and he said that the elementary level is A1 and A2 is the pre-intermediate. Got the point? A2 is a pre-intermediate, something like this. Divisions are sometimes different, but this is the most recognized one. Okay, and the same division is given in the speaking placement test. Let me show you. This is the oral test. Okay.
You know, even in the CEFR, searching for the stuff. So in some, you know, universities, or let's say some curricula, they call it a starter. And starter. So A1 is like starter or beginner, and they call, you know, somebody who's completely a beginner, they call it as pre-starter.
Pre-starter, yeah.
So this depends, you know. Exactly. Anyway.
Exactly. So we can just like rely on those divisions, because even the speaking test, the oral test has the same division. So let's see, here we have the A1, okay? A1, the starter level, so here we talk about simple, really simple questions. What do you do? Do you work? Are you a student? Tell me about your family. And here are the units. You see the units in the book. So forget about the units and let's just focus on the questions themselves. As we said, the starter level students is someone who can talk about themselves and express the environment around them. Let's move on to the next one, which is the elementary, which is, as we said, it's A2. Here we have questions. Those are the questions from 6 to 10. By the way, they range in difficulty. If you ask your student question 6, for example, to talk about something they can do very well, like swimming or cooking, they're supposed to express this can thing. Okay, so if, for example, they stuck or they don't know how to express very well, no problem, just move on to the next one, number 7, and try to check if they can perform it well, because even the level of difficulty increases from a question to another question. Now, if you feel that your student has a lot of hesitations, lots of problems, cannot express very well, doesn't have the sufficient vocabulary and grammar points to be able to express very well, so that means it's their level, it's the level that they are supposed to study. Okay, now if they answer all the questions, that means they finish this level and they can take the next one. Okay, so where your student stocks, that means that this is the level they're supposed to study. And here is the pre-intermediate level. As you see, guys, the beginning of the pre-intermediate level is B1. If we move on to the next one, the intermediate level is kind of the end of B1 and the beginning of B2. Generally, the last unit of the intermediate level is kind of upper intermediate, okay? And the next one is the upper intermediate, which is B2, and the last one is C1. Questions, as we said, guys, questions are different. Every level has 3 questions. They're taken from the beginning of the level, the middle, and the end of it. The difficulty ranges from 1 to 1. And this is all. This is all like the way we run a speaking test. Those are the questions. So let me just repeat the last point, where the student stocks, where the student feels that it is difficult to perform, that means this is the level that they're supposed to study. Please, guys, a speaking test, in my opinion, is not a test. It's a kind of friendly meeting just to get to know where to put them exactly, to get to know more about their background, about their traditions, customs, what they like, what they hate, their goals. Just like a kind of friendly conversation just to help them become, or to help them join the right group. Don't make them feel that they are being tested. This is what I want to say about the speaking placement test. I'm wondering if you have any questions about that.
Okay, Adel, I just want to highlight one point. I used to make oral placement tests. I usually ask them about, you know, English courses. For example, have you ever taken an English course? Yes, I, for example, studied beginner English 5. So this is a good piece of information for me to build up my test.
Correct.
Maybe he's going to tell you that, for example, I was in Lebanon. I studied the baccalaureate in Lebanon. So the culture, the background of the student is important. So I think that, you know, the teachers may start the information in general, the conversation in general, asking about general questions about, you know, his English background. Then, you know, going in deep, going to ask these questions. What do you think?
Yeah, correct. I do agree. The conversation questioning students is supposed to be very well linked and smooth. It's not like this. Okay, question number 1, listen to me. What do you do? Do you work or you're a student? Okay, I'm a student. Thank you very much. Question 2, tell me about your family. So it's not this way. So let's do it smoothly. So tell me about your life. Do you work or you study? I study. Very good. Which school do you study at? So my school's name is blah, blah, blah. Do you like it? Yes, I like it. I mean, does a student, do your family or do your brothers and sisters study at the same school? Yes, they study at the same school. You see, brothers and sisters and study at the same school. Here I'm talking about questions 1 and 2. Can you see, guys? Okay, tell me a little bit about your brother. Tell me what he does in his free time. So he tells you about his brother, for example. Can you tell me a little bit about your family? It seems to me you have a very well-educated family. So they begin talking about that. And I think that you have a plenty of free time at the weekend with the family. Can you tell me about that, what you do? So let's just link all these sentences together in certain situations so we make them reflect their background and culture, guys. And let it be smooth. At the end of the day, it's just like a kind of test, just to put them in the right place. For us, it's a test. We want to put them in the right place. But for them, it's just a conversation just to get to know more about themselves.
Okay, another question, please.
So, Mr.
Maybe,
Mr. Ada, please.
Okay, Wasim, go ahead.
Yes, Wasim.
No, Mr. Anas, yes?
No problem, Wasim.
Go ahead.
So we have to start with the student with a general question in order to know in which group we will start with him.
Mm-hmm.
So if the student is in advanced level, so we can start him with the question number 1 in A1. So just start with a group of general questions in order to know which group of questions we will start with him, right?
We mean by general questions, it's just to begin a conversation with them. As we said, we don't want to be a kind of testing. We want it to be a kind of really smooth and friendly speech. So you can just begin with something general. Yes. You can ask them to talk about themselves, for example, even though they are in the advanced level, as a kind of like to begin the conversation with them.
So
yeah, and
the
you
beginning.
get to know him.
So I got the point.
Okay, and please, guys, when we tell you that your student is in the pre-intermediate level, the written test is in the pre-intermediate level. So don't rely a lot on starter and elementary questions. Okay, just ask them general questions and just stick immediately to the pre-intermediate questions. Mr. Anas, about the students who will take the placement, the speaking test tomorrow, are students who will who will just take the speaking test. They're not students who took the written test, I guess, right?
Yes, right.
Okay.
We did start actually with the written one.
Okay, so guys, tomorrow you will receive students. We don't know their levels, to be honest to you, the written test of them. So they might be starter level students, it might be elementary students. So let it be a kind of really simple conversation. Throughout the conversation, you will know their background very well. You're all professional teachers, and you know the weaknesses of your students and the strong points as well. Okay, so no written test for tomorrow. Start from the very beginning, starter level questions, and then just move on smoothly from a question to a question.
So the maximum time is 13 minutes.
So if a student takes the written test, I think the maximum between 10 minutes to 13 minutes. But Mr. Anas, can you just tell us about the classes tomorrow? Are they gonna just take 40-minute classes, or they just want to take a placement test? Anas?
Well, no, actually, it's just a placement test, so that the teacher has the choice to just finish it in 30 minutes, in 40 minutes. Okay, he or she has the choice.
But it's just like a meeting with the student, just to know their levels. So don't think it'll take more than 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, this depends on the teacher. Yeah. This is new for us as the placement oral test. So maybe one of the teacher will take, let's imagine, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Okay, he's got the choice. The limit is 40. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that the class limit is 40, which is okay, with no break. But a placement test, I think a teacher cannot run a placement test for 40 minutes. This is a kind of thesis discussion, thesis defendants, 40 minutes.
Yeah, actually, because this is the beginning of the lesson, so we just it's a class, because I want okay, I'm going to talk financially. This is, I will call it an hour. Okay, I will call it an hour. So at the end of the month, we'll calculate hours the teacher for so this is an hour for teacher, for example, Maria. So I'm considering the other issue, which is financial issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got the point. So then, guys, I suggest you something. I suggest.
Yeah, can I say something, please? Sorry.
So who's speaking, Aisha? Yes.
Yes, actually, nearly every day I do like these oral tests for my students, and the maximum time for that oral test is about maybe 20 minutes maximum, maybe with videos, with like introductions and the questions and background of the student, everything. I think 20 minutes is enough, in my opinion. From my experience, I'm talking about my experience. What about your opinion? I don't know.
For me, I think 14 minutes is more than enough. Like 15 or 15 minutes is more than enough. Like it's just like introducing the teacher to the student and the student to the teacher, like getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but actually, sometimes there's a need to let the student watch a video, maybe discuss it with me to know more about that student.
So
video and oral test, that's the idea that I follow.
This is real testing. This is not a placement test. This is real testing.
Exactly. Like you just get to know the student and their background, and get to know more about themselves, and say your name and all that, and then say the questions of the levels. Guys, I think that would take
so
like
believe me,
15 minutes.
Believe me, guys. Generally, a student is supposed to be tested. Then we put them in the right place. But those students are kind of exceptions. So let's do it this way. Let it be tomorrow a kind of a 10-minute meeting for all the students, and a 30-minute lesson. Even if they are students in the pre-intermediate level, and you select an elementary level lesson, they will find something new. Okay, so let's just show them, despite the fact they are in the pre-intermediate level, don't tell them that this lesson is an elementary level lesson or something. So let it be just like a kind of free session, and you just want to show them the materials that they use in teaching, the methods that you implement when you teach, how we put things into practice. So we want them just to be amazed by your lessons tomorrow. So let it be just a kind of 10-minute meeting, and then let it be 20 minutes, let's say 20-minute teaching, 10-minute meeting for a placement test and 20-minute teaching. Just prepare any slides. So let them be simple slides. And in my opinion, despite the fact your lesson might be a starter level lesson for a pre-intermediate student, you can just make it pre-intermediate by asking professional questions. Okay, like for example, you would just for example show photos of a cell phone and a mobile phone. If he is a starter level student, you can just like ask them, what do you think about this one? Is it old or new? So they will say, maybe it's old and this one is new. Those are kind of starter level questions. But if your student is in the pre-intermediate level, I swear by God, they will not know the difference between a cell phone and a mobile phone. A cell phone is a kind of really simple phone. A mobile phone is a phone or a smartphone that has lots of features that can people utilize. So you can just ask them questions that are suitable to their levels just to run the session tomorrow. And I think the same situation will never happen again. Like next time, we will do things this way. They will take the writing test. After the writing test, we will know their level. We will tell you what the level is, and based on it, you will run the speaking test with them. Then we will wait for your feedback about them and about the best group that they are supposed to join. So let the class to be tomorrow kind of exception. So what do you think of this idea?
Yeah, it's more appropriate.
I suggest that you prepare a lesson tomorrow, for example, let's say an elementary level lesson, okay, with ideas you feel that are new. For example, 3 ways to say thank you very much, kind of colloquial English. You can just teach them something like this, despite the fact it's an elementary level, but they will find something new. I think they will find something new. I'm sure of it, inshallah. That's okay.
So we have to prepare presentation or slides for elementary level only, and
From Niveau
or for
Seuil,
all the
maybe we
stages, all the
all not
levels.
so much classes.
Wasim, sorry, but Wasim was saying something. Wasim, what were you saying?
So we will prepare slides for elementary level only or for all the levels. So how we can deal with these levels if we don't know the level of the student before talking to him?
So as I told you, that tomorrow's session is a kind of exception. Let it be an elementary level, but try to make sure that if your student has a higher level, try to make sure in your lesson plan to have something new. Okay, even for an intermediate level, even for an upper intermediate level. I hope that you don't receive upper intermediate level students, and you will not. I don't think you will receive. I mean, the range for tomorrow lessons will be between starter and pre. I think so. Anas, any idea about the background of the students?
I think that there are five of them. They are in Saudi Arabia, and one of them is in Hama here. But I want to discuss one thing actually. I don't agree with you concerning the division. That's 20 minutes for the lesson. I think that okay, let them run a placement test, but break the ice, speak generally about the students, try to catch something about the background, and then try to ask these questions from the placement tests, but without giving them any lesson. It's difficult for the teachers to prepare today. What do you think, teachers? Do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the idea that there is no time.
Yes. It's a good point. That's why we have to select specific time for placement test and specific time for the rest of the lesson. We can open a conversation with the students and start with him. But after selecting his level, we can just continue the conversation with him by asking another student, and we'll be just introducing the teacher to the student and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was just trying to help give you a solution to the issue tomorrow, because it's impossible to run a 40-minute placement test. So you just want to, what you want to say is that you want just to extend the topics and talk more about them. But don't you think it might be boring to them talking about the same thing without learning something new?
Of course it will.
I mean, in your opinion, will your students find something new tomorrow if you do it this way?
It's not one thing that you can open a conversation with him about different topics and different things, just the first face-to-face lesson. So you can talk with the student as a foreign student, or you don't know him before, and talk with him about different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have just a suggestion. If you please can me share it with you.
Yes,
actually, we have many topics that يعني new people, new learners. Sometimes we use it with the new learners. They just have it as a small talk to talk about maybe the job, the weather, the culture, depending. So we can open many conversation with them smoothly without knowing that this is time for test and this is time for conversation, or maybe to continue the time of the lesson that we are supposed to do.
Great. I do agree. But here I just want to assure you guys to do something. I suggest that you that you prepare some expressions, really good expressions that you expect yourself to teach your students tomorrow. You're talking about running a speech which is really smooth, beautiful, talking about different topics. Okay, just try to teach them some, let's say, expressions. They're kind of everyday expressions or useful expressions that can be used in specific situations. So this is my suggestion to you, and let's tell them at the end of the lesson that this is a way we teach, that you will gain lots of really good language and good expressions, so you can use them in different situations, like the thing we did today. Okay, so let them just find something new. It's not just a kind of speaking session without learning anything. I mean, just put the expressions, for example, in front of you and say you just want to teach them those 5, 6 expressions during the conversation.
Yeah, Mr. Adel, I can confuse the student if you want. Like, there's an alternative for 50 for the word he said. You can say it like in another 50 ways.
So they will be confused in this case.
Yeah, he would be like, what?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Adel, I just want to highlight this point, or to reassure the teacher is total choice. I can eat it and then finish 20 minutes. I think that this is okay enough for me and for the student. Okay, I say goodbye and that's it. So they are not supposed to finish the 40-minute. This is what I want to, explain. Maybe you're going to finish in 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, supposed to finish the 40 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
You got me, guys? You got me? You got my idea?
You don't have to consume the 40 minutes.
But if the students is interested,
yeah,
and
right.
get some benefits, so why not?
Yeah, sure of it.
Yeah.
Sure of it. But please, guys,
and you can give him some pieces of advice.
Please, let's make sure that we teach them something.
Maybe he's going to ask you. Okay. Yeah, Adel. Okay, go on. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I just want to assure to teach them something new. Like for example, how to say thank you very much. Do you know that we can say it in a different way? We can say thanks a bunch, thanks a million, for example. So let them find something really practical and new, and let them just have really good expectations about the coming lessons.
Okay, right.
Okay. That's it. So, my battery, the battery of my laptop is dying. So I'm sorry to have to say that I'm supposed to leave. I'm wondering if you want to ask about me about anything else, guys.
Just one more question, please. Is it necessary to open the webcam or just like our meeting?
What do you think, Anas?
I think it's necessary because maybe just in the beginning, maybe, and you can just after 10 minutes you can. I don't know actually. I don't know, but I think we want to let the students make sure that they are going to pay for repeat.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
I'm sure about the answer actually, but they are supposed to see you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the very beautiful meeting and fruitful meeting. We will keep in touch, inshallah, in case we have any updates. And I'll be really happy to listen to your suggestions all the time. Really sorry again for scheduling a meeting today. We're supposed to have told you that we were supposed to meet today, but unfortunately we were in a hurry. And even I prepared the PowerPoint file today, 25 minutes before the beginning of the session. I was really busy today. I was busy as well, as same as you, but we have classes tomorrow and we want to begin. So that was a kind of really urgent meeting. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time today and see you next time, inshallah.
Thank you for
so
your
much.
efforts.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
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 Thanks. Bye bye.